What is up, Renaissance crew? I'm the original Renaissance man, Devon DaVinci, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Now, I wasn't planning on doing any videos for today. I was going to go ahead and take a break because last night I did not get a chance to finish my videos until about 4 o'clock in the morning, and that is not good when you have to wake up for work. So, just as a heads up, the 4 videos I released, the Queen video, the Bill Burr video, and that batch, all that stuff, because my internet had cut out, I don't know why, it just crapped out on me. I wasn't able to get the videos out the time I wanted, so I had to wait until my internet came back before I can finish uploading them. So that's the reason why I'm not doing videos today, because I'm going to take a break. Same with streaming. I didn't realize that I wasn't going to record videos until I got home and felt how tired I was, and I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to stream tonight. But I have another announcement video addressing how my schedule is going to be from now on, how I think I found a sweet spot, in it. Anyway, this video is dedicated to one of the, I would say, the greatest comic artists of all time, one of the most recognizable comic book creators of all time, and this is, of course, Stan Lee, who, as of, I don't know if he passed away today or if it was yesterday. I got a text message from King Rutherford telling me that Stan Lee had passed away, and I wanted to go ahead and make a video about it because this is someone that really means a lot to me. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies. I'm a big fan of the Marvel characters that he's created. I'm a big fan of his creativity, and I sent out a tweet earlier today, and in the tweet I said I was going to make a video that was going to get released tomorrow, but chances are it'll probably get released tonight. So I just wanted to say that I remember when, well, I don't necessarily remember, but I remember people talking about when Marvel was in its having financial issues. That's when they sold off all their assets, and that's the reason why Spider-Man and X-Men and everything else weren't getting released by the same company when it came to movies, because so many different entities owned their assets, so they needed permission from Sony and Fox and things like that in order to get these characters in a movie together. And there was even a period when Michael Jackson was in talks for purchasing Marvel. Of course, he did it because he wanted to play Spider-Man, which would have been really funny. But whatever. I guess we'll just have to regret that never was made. But what I was about to say is, it's amazing that his story in the end finished off on a high note, because, like I said, it could have been a lot worse. In the 90s, comic books, they were popular, but it was kind of like they kind of started to fall off, I guess. I'm just saying from an outsider. I'm not a person that's really deep into comic books, so I can't really tell you for sure. You'd have to talk to someone that's really deep into comic books that can tell you how the scene was at that time. But from an outsider's standpoint, it seemed like comic books was starting to die down a little bit. I know they had some really big storylines in the 90s. I'm talking more of the late 90s. So I know they had the death of Superman, and what was it? Was the Frank Miller? Did Frank Miller come out in the 90s? I could be wrong. I think Killing Joke. I could be wrong. I think all those came out in the 90s, but it seemed like at the end everything started to it hit its peak, then it started to wane its way down, and the movies were not good. I mean, you had the first couple Batman movies, but aside from that, there weren't really any good superhero movies in the 90s, or possibly even the 80s too. I mean, there was a big gap between Superman with Christopher Reeves and the Batman movies in the late 80s, early 90s, and there was pretty much nothing else in between that. So, like I said, his story had a good ending, because it could have his company could have got sold off, and that could have been the last he really known or associated with Marvel at all. And the fact that not only was his company purchased by a big enough company so that they would be able to take care of it. It fell into the hands of people that actually wanted to do the movies right and the characters right. Because I mean, even within the same company, if you look at how Disney's handled Star Wars, for example, the legacy of the Marvel movies could have been a lot different had they gone into the wrong management hands. So the people that bought it and the people that were assigned to take care of that cinematic universe, you can tell these are people that actually appreciated the content and appreciated the characters and the stories and things like that, and they also appreciated the history of these characters, because it almost seemed like they begged Stan Lee to come in and be associated with this brand, and he almost became like a mascot for the Disney Marvel cinematic universe. I would say more so than even before they were before they purchased Marvel, because back in the 90s, like, you knew who Stan Lee was, but you didn't really see or hear about him or anything like that. Now it seems like whenever there's a whenever there was a movie or something like that, he was the person that either made a cameo or you heard from him in some way. So they definitely like it's almost like they gave it back to him in a way. So in the end, it could have been a lot worse. They could have definitely screwed it up in so many different ways, but they were patient and they pretty much done whatever they could to make sure that they did the series justice. I mean, just the planning that they put behind Marvel and things like that, the Marvel movies, and they didn't rush anything. They kept a long-term plan, and the Marvel series, the Marvel asset is now bigger than it's ever been. Like, it's almost to the point where I would say Marvel is one of Disney's top acquisitions, like, period. I would even put Marvel above Star Wars right now. I would put Marvel above Star Wars. That's how big it's gotten. And then you look back in the 90s when Marvel was just a shell of itself. I think that the price that Michael Jackson was pitching was like only $20 million. Now, you imagine just one of Marvel's movies coming out can easily make over $1 billion. And that's just one movie. They usually release like at least 2 or even 3 movies a year. So, I mean, to think that they sold that asset off for only a fraction of the price that it's worth now, that is crazy. As far as Stan Lee, I appreciate the man for everything he's done. So many people say that he was like or not so many people, but I heard stories that he was very hard to work with because he was like a perfectionist and you had to have everything done right and perfect. And, you know, if he saw something that he didn't approve of or you weren't meeting his level of quality assurance, he would definitely let you know about it. And even though it's probably tough to work for somebody like that, I mean, the dude is a leader. Like, those are the type of people that you should follow behind, or not necessarily follow behind, but they should be your inspiration. You should use them as an example of what you want to do, because the passion that he had and the level of imagination and things like that, and just like I said in my tweet, the level of imagination the guy had at his age, because I don't know why, but for some reason there's this like idea that once you become an adult or something, you're supposed to just like abandon what gave you that childlike happiness and stuff as a kid, and you're supposed to just dump it off and just live a normal life or something like that. And it's like, no, whatever you enjoyed as a kid, you still enjoy as an adult. Hell, if anything, you enjoy it more because now you have the money to actually afford to, you know, cater to that damn craving that you have inside of you for whatever it is, whether it's comic books or video games, or if you collect cars, or if you anything, you like trains, you like food or anything like that. Maybe as a kid it started off as like a hobby, like if you like cars, maybe you collected Hot Wheels or something, and then you started helping your parents in the garage, and then when you got old enough you started buying busted up cars at junkyards and fixing them up or something like that. And if you get rich, you have this plan of collecting cars and things like that. If it's video games you like, maybe you grew up playing video games with siblings or friends or something like that, and as you grew up, you started getting summer jobs and stuff just so you can afford this brand new video game console or this video game that's coming out. And then maybe if you're real serious about it, you get older and all of a sudden you enter that field and you're a graphic designer, or you're creating engines for video games and things like that. Like, you get serious into it and you start developing games. The things that make people the happiest, like everybody always says, to make sure that whatever you do in your life, you're happy doing it. Like, don't just get into a job where only thing you're focused on is, oh, well, I'm doing it for a paycheck. Like, you want to do something that you're passionate about. And I will say just about every single thing that you're passionate about is something that the seed was planted back when you were a child. I can't think of anything that people have done that they say that they love doing, but they just recently started doing. Like, usually it's something that you have a connection with as a kid, and it's something that you've always been passionate for. Now, I could be wrong. There could be rare situations where somebody did just randomly, just picked up, oh, I like stamp collecting, and the next they're just crazy about stamp collecting or something. But usually that's not the case. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know how I felt about Stan Lee, give him a quick tribute, a farewell and things like that, and hopefully wherever he may end up, I already told you guys about my opinions about religion and stuff like that, but I would like to see him in some way at some point. So this is, you can even say it's wishful thinking if you want, but I would hope that there's something out there that would allow me to get a chance to talk to the person and see him again. Anyway, that's been this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to give a shout out to Stan Lee, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's on Facebook or if it's in the comments section or something. Be sure to let the estate family of Stan Lee know exactly how how he's impacted your life and what he means to your life, because that type of stuff means a lot for people, especially when they're going through grief and the situations. And the situation that they're going through now with the recent passing of him and everything, just the fact that you can sit there and let them know like exactly how he made you feel and the impact he's had on your life, somebody they've never even met, it means a lot. It really does. So be sure to do that, and I will go ahead and move on to another video. I'll probably do a couple reactions today, mainly movie trailers. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Anyway, I'm the original Renaissance Man. I'm signing out. Deuces.